Hello dear guys, this is Sangapal Narvade and welcome to my new video on folliculogenesis. If you want to see the Hindi version of this video, then please click on the link that is given in the description below. So I will run this video in English. So first thing, what is the folliculogenesis? The name as suggests in this term, folliculo, the word it says follicle, and genesis, that is the formation. So simply the definition is the process of formation of follicle is called as folliculogenesis. So as we are talking about the ovary, folliculogenesis in ovary, so the process of formation of follicles in the ovary, this is the folliculogenesis. We will see over here. So simply you can see this is the rough sketch of the ovary, okay, and this is the outer part of the ovary, and the outer part of the ovary is called as cortex, okay, and this is the inner part of the ovary which is called as the medulla. So right now we are going to talk about the cortex. So the ovarian cortex, it contains the ovarian follicles in its different stages. Okay, so there are different stages of the ovarian follicles are seen over here. You can see this is the primordial follicle, okay, this is the primary follicle, this is the secondary follicle, and this is the matured ovarian follicle, or it is also called as Graafian follicle. Okay, so ovarian cortex shows the different stages of the ovarian follicles, such as primordial follicles, primary follicles, secondary follicles, and Graafian follicles. So there are too many primordial follicles are found in the ovarian cortex, and these primordial follicles get converted into the primary follicles get converted into the secondary follicles, and these secondary follicles, okay, from these secondary follicles only one secondary follicle during each menstrual cycle get converted into the Graafian follicle. So this process we will see in detail in later videos. Okay, so as I told, right now the different stages of ovarian follicles are found in the cortex, okay, and each ovarian follicle, it contains oocyte in various stages. Okay, so you can see suppose that this is the ovarian follicle, okay, this is the primordial ovarian follicle. So inside this follicle the ovum is present like this. Okay, if I draw, if suppose that this is the primary follicle, okay, this is the primary follicle, the primary follicle also contains ovum in it, but that ovum is in the, or that oocyte is in the different stages. Likewise, that if I draw primary follicle, secondary follicle, or Graafian follicle, so all these follicles, they shows the they shows the oocytes in their different stages. Then later you can see types of follicles. Types of follicles are the different stages of follicles that are seen in the ovarian cortex, as I told right now. So first type we are going to see, that is the primordial follicle. Okay, so what is the primordial follicle? Before see the definition of this follicle, we need to see the figure. Okay, so just look at towards this figure. In this structure you can see this is the oocyte that is shown in the green boundary, and inside this oocyte, this is the nucleus of the oocyte. Okay, you can see this oocyte is surrounded by a single layer of follicular cells. So these blue colored cells are the follicular cells which surrounds the oocyte. So in a short, we can tell the definition of this primordial follicle like this. The follicle which contains the ovum that is surrounded by a single layer of follicular cells, so such follicle is called as the primordial follicle. Okay, so this is the primordial follicle. Okay, so right now we'll come to this definition. Primordial follicle, oocyte is surrounded by a single layer of follicular cells, and this type of follicle is called as the primordial follicle. Okay, so during childhood, few primordial follicles grow and becomes primary follicles. So okay, what happens during the childhood, Okay, so when the female baby is born, that female baby contains the ovary of that female baby contains too many primordial follicles. Okay, and during the childhood, that female baby, few primordial follicles they starts to grow, and they becomes the primary follicles, or they get converted into the primary follicles. But the which primordial follicles they are selected to be get converted into the primary follicles, this phenomenon is unclear still now. Okay, so the research is going on that. So this is the figure we have seen right now. In this figure we can see that this is the early primary follicle. So as I have told right now, the primordial follicle get converted into the primary follicle. Okay, so this primary follicle, this is the early primary follicle, you can see in this figure. Okay, see very carefully. So this is the orange colored oocyte. Okay, and oocyte is surrounded by these blue colored cells. These are the follicular cells. Okay, so oocyte is surrounded by a single layer of follicular cells, and these follicular cells later on they are surrounded by 6 to 7 layers of these pink colored I have shown over here. So 6 to 7 layers of the granulosa cells. So what you can see in this figure, this is the oocyte. Oocyte is surrounded by a single layer of follicular cells, and this layer of the follicular cells is surrounded by 6 to 7 layers of the granulosa cells. So this is the structure of the primary oocyte, primary follicle. Okay, and as the follicle starts to grow, what happens with this we'll see. Oocyte surrounded with a single layer of follicular cells, as I told right now. I'm further on 6 to 7 layers of the granulosa cells found surrounding to that. The follicle starts to grow. Okay, so that primary follicle, it starts to grow, and then you can see the zona pellucida is formed between the primary oocyte and the granulosa cells. So again we will see this figure. You can see, I will show you in this figure. Okay, so this is the oocyte. Okay, this is the oocyte, and these are the granulosa cells surrounding the oocyte. So in between the granulosa cells and the primary oocyte, or in between the oocyte and the granulosa cells, this is the thin glycoprotein transparent layer is formed, and this thin glycoprotein transparent layer is called as the zona pellucida. Okay, so zona pellucida, it is made up of the glycoproteins. It is made up of glycoproteins. And then later you can see that as this follicle, okay, as the primary follicle again starts to grow, these follicular cells they divide and redivide. Okay, they divide and redivides, and they surrounds to the basement membrane from inside, and here you can see surrounding to the ovum a bunch of these granulosa cells is formed. So this is the bunch of granulosa cells, and these granulosa cells again they encircles the basement membrane. So you can see this is the basement membrane. You can see this is the basement membrane, and encircling to the basement membrane, these are the granulosa cells. So granulosa cells they found everywhere inside this follicle. Okay, so we'll see later on there are two types of ovarian there are two types of granulosa cells are found. I will make a specific video on that later on. Okay, so during childhood this is completed, sorry. Okay, so as the follicle grows, zona pellucida is formed. We have seen that, and as the follicle grows, the zona pellucida is formed. We have seen, again we will see this figure, sorry. Look at, so this is the oocyte, and this is the zona pellucida that is formed over here. Okay, and surrounding to that, these are the granulosa cells. So suppose that I have seen this, I have shown this green colored layer. This is also the, suppose that this is also the layer of the granulosa cells. So this is the innermost layer of the granulosa cells. Okay, this is the innermost layer of the granulosa cells, while this is the outermost layer of the granulosa cells. Just look towards this hand. This is the outermost layer of the granulosa cells. So these are the two layers of the granulosa cells, and there are too many other layers of the granulosa cells also. These are the granulosa cells. All these are the granulosa cells. So see, the innermost layer of the granulosa cells, it is firmly attached to this zona pellucida. So this is the zona pellucida, thin glycoprotein layer. This is the transparent layer, and this innermost layer of the granulosa cells, it is firmly attached to this zona pellucida, and later on this innermost layer of the cells, it becomes it is converted into another types of cells, and that cells are called as the corona radiata. Okay, so corona radiata, word corona, corona, it is related with the crown like cells. So the cells that radiates the crown like structures are called as the corona radiata. They surrounds to the egg. So as we seen, this is the innermost layer of the granulosa cell that surrounds the oocyte, get converted into the corona radiata, and this is the outermost layer of the granulosa cells that encircles the basement membrane. So you can see this is the basement membrane, and encircling to the basement membrane, this layer of cells is called as the outermost layer of the granulosa cells. Okay, so as the follicle grows, this layer is called as the theca folliculi. Okay, this layer is called theca folliculi. We'll see that. So the outermost layer of the granulosa cells encircles the basement membrane, and this layer is called as the theca folliculi. We have seen just right now. So this figure also we have explained. Okay, so we will talk about the theca cells. Okay, theca cells, the cells of the theca folliculi called as the theca cells. So as the follicle grows, I will show this figure. Okay, so you can see this is the basement membrane, and on this basement membrane, these are the cells of the theca folliculi. So as the follicle grows, these cells, they multiply, okay, and they divide into the two regions, okay, that we can see in the next figure. So you can see the cells are multiplied and they arrange like this, and another types of cells they arrange like this. So theca folliculi divided into the two regions. So this is the outer region of the theca folliculi, that is called as theca externa, and the inner region, this is the inner region of the theca folliculi, and this is called as the theca interna. Okay, so the outer region, that is the theca externa, it is made up of the connective tissue, and the inner region of the theca folliculi, which is called as the theca interna, it is made up of the secretory cells. And these secretory cells, they secretes the follicular fluid, which is called as the antrum. So the cavity found inside the follicle is called as the antrum. You can see in this figure again. So these are the granulosa cells, and these are also the granulosa cells. So these are the granulosa cells surrounding to the ovum, and these are the granulosa cells, they encircling to the basement membrane. Okay, so just look at towards the point. The granulosa cells in between the granulosa cells that surrounds to the ovum and the granulosa cells that encircles the basement membrane, there is a space, there is a cavity, and this space or this cavity is called as the antrum. Okay, this transparent cavity you can see in this figure is the antrum, and this cavity is filled with the fluid, and that fluid is called as the antral fluid. Okay, there is fluid in this cavity, antral fluid, and that antral fluid is secreted by the granulosa cells of the theca interna, as I told right now. Okay, so theca interna, it is highly vascular part, as we have seen right now. Theca interna is the inner region of the theca folliculi. It is highly vascular part, and it is made up of the secretory cells, as I told. And theca externa, it is made up of the connective tissues. Okay, and these granulosa cells, they're responsible for the secretion of the follicular fluid, and this follicular fluid, it is deposited in the antrum. Okay, that is also we have seen the central cavity that is found in the ovarian follicle. We have seen this figure, also this figure. And right now we'll take a look at this slide. So this is the theca cell, and this is the granulosa cell. So out of too many theca cells, we have took one theca cell over here, and out of too many granulosa cells, we have took one granulosa cells over here. So theca cells, look at towards the theca cell. So this whole structure is the theca cell. Theca cell means the cells of the theca folliculi, as we have seen theca externa, theca interna, right? So theca interna, the cell of the theca interna, this is the theca cell. And theca cells, they secrete this structure as I shown over here. These are the androgens. This, look at what's this. So this is the androgens. Theca cells secretes the androgens. Okay, these are the sex hormones. After the synthesis of these androgens, this androgen will pass into the granulosa cell, we have seen. So from these theca cells, the androgens enter into the granulosa cells. Okay, and inside these granulosa cells, you can see this is the molecule of the enzyme, that is the aromatase. This is the aromatase enzyme. Okay, so aromatase enzyme, it acts upon these androgens, and after this action, the androgens are get converted into this blue colored structure, which is the estrogen. I have shown over here, this blue colored structure is the estrogen. Okay, so you have seen how this happened. The androgens from this theca cell, they enters into the granulosa cells, and on these androgens, aromatase enzyme, it act upon, and aromatase convert this androgen into the estrogen. And we know that this estrogen, it plays very important role in regulating the secondary sexual characters in female. Okay, we will see later on in another video that what are the different functions of this estrogen. Estrogen is not only related with regulating the secondary sexual characters in female, but there are too many functions of this estrogen, and not only in female but also in males too. Okay, so look at towards this structure, observe this slide. You can see the LH and FSH, these are the two hormones that are secreted by the anterior pituitary. Okay, we already have seen in the chapter endocrinology. LH, that is the luteinizing hormone, and FSH, that is the follicle stimulating hormone. Both of these hormones are secreted by anterior pituitary, and after releasing into the blood, these hormones, they comes towards the ovary. Okay, and they acts upon these secondary follicles, as we have seen in the ovarian cortex. So what this LH and FSH does, so LH and FSH, they resumes the meiosis first in the secondary follicles. We have seen secondary follicles. So what FSH and LH actually does, it resumes, okay, or it restart the meiosis first in the secondary follicles. Okay, then later you can see after that, out of many secondary follicles, only one secondary follicle matured and it releases the ova. So as I told, there are first of all, there are too many primordial follicles are found in the ovarian cortex, and out of these too many primordial follicles, few primordial follicles are selected to get converted into the primary follicles. And I told already what makes those primordial follicles to get converted into the primary follicles. This mechanism is unclear, because all the primordial follicles are not converted into the primary follicle, only few primordial follicles are selected for that. Okay, and then primary follicle get converted into the secondary follicle, and out of these secondary follicles, out of these many secondary follicles, only one secondary follicle on the 14th day of the menstrual cycle, it ripens and get converted into the or on the 12th, not on the 14th day, sorry, but only one secondary follicle get converted into the Graafian follicle, and that Graafian follicle, it releases the ovum on the 14th day of the menstrual cycle. So we will see that in detail when we will talk about the menstrual cycle in human females. Okay, about primary oocyte is formed. Okay, and this primary oocyte, it complete its meiosis first. So in this way, primary oocyte completes meiosis first. Okay, and after the completion of this meiosis first, the secondary oocyte is formed. Okay, what is actually how this process or mechanism of the cell division takes place with this oocyte, we will see that in detail when we see the oogenesis. Okay, that oogenesis also we will see in further videos. Okay, so you don't need to be get worried that what are these different concepts, how the cell division takes place, how the mitosis and meiosis takes place in the egg or in the oocyte. We will see all those stuffs in detail, but in later videos, so don't worry about that. So secondary oocyte is formed, and this secondary oocyte, it proceeds in meiosis second. Okay, so primary oocyte is it completes the meiosis first, then later secondary oocyte is formed, and this secondary oocyte, it will proceed into the meiosis second. We know that what happens in the meiosis second. There are 4 subphases or substages in the meiosis second. First, prophase second, second metaphase second, third anaphase second, and fourth telophase second. So if the telophase second is over, then we can say that the meiosis second is over. But the secondary oocyte that is formed when it enters into the meiosis second, okay, it goes into the prophase second of the meiosis second, then it goes into the metaphase second of the meiosis second. But as soon as it enters into the metaphase second, secondary oocyte, as soon as the secondary oocyte enters into the metaphase second, it get arrested in that metaphase second. Okay, that oocyte is arrested in the metaphase second. Why it is arrested in the metaphase second, and why it is unable to complete its meiosis second? Because the secondary oocyte lacks of the centrioles in it. So as there are no centrioles in the secondary oocyte, the secondary oocyte will not further go into the anaphase second and into the telophase second, so it is get arrested into the metaphase second. Okay, so the follicle, the ovarian follicle that contains the oocyte, okay, the ovarian follicle that contains the oocyte which is arrested in the metaphase second, such ovarian follicles are called as Graafian follicle. Okay, this is called as the Graafian follicle. So during each menstrual cycle, only one Graafian follicle is formed. Okay, at every menstrual cycle, one Graafian follicle is formed from the secondary follicle. Okay, and final point that is given over here, for the conversion of primary follicle into the secondary follicle, it takes 90 days. See, that means if you want to see the formation of the secondary follicle from the primary follicle, it takes 90 days. Okay, and finally the Graafian follicle that is formed from the secondary follicle, it looks like this. Okay, you can see there can be the question can be asked for 2 marks in your examination, that explain the structure of the Graafian follicle. So what you can see in this structure, just take a look of this figure. You can see there is oocyte, there is corona radiata, there are granulosa cells, there is antrum, there is theca interna and theca externa. So that means the follicle that shows all these structures, the ovarian follicle that shows all these structures, okay, so such structure or such Graafian follicle containing all this structure is called as the Graafian follicle. We can see the oocyte is over there. The oocyte is eccentric. Eccentric, that means it is not found in the center. This oocyte is surrounded by the corona radiata cells. These are the corona radiata cells. Okay, the cells, they radiate the crown like structures. Okay, then later you can see that these are the granulosa cells. Okay, these are the granulosa cells, and then later these are the theca cells. These are the theca cells, theca interna, and this is the theca externa. Theca interna, theca externa. Theca interna contains the secretory cells which secretes the different type of the substances, and these substances are poured into this antrum. So this is the antrum or antral fluid which is secreted generally by the granulosa cells. So this is the Graafian follicle. Okay, so if you like the video, then please don't forget to like, subscribe my channel and share the channel. Okay, so we'll meet in next video lecture with the next part of the reproductive system.